So let's sit up on a little prop to start out. And this is actually to provide a little relief to the hip flexors when you start here. So think about this area for a moment. And you can do a couple things. I'm going to push my thumbs in and kind of massage the hip crease. I'm crossed roughly around the shin bones. And I'm just going to let this area, as best I can, kind of lengthen out over my prop. And then I'm going to pull my shoulder blades just down and up a few times. So waking up a little energy there in the back. Good. So when you pull the shoulder blades down, think about the top of the head, lifting up, your chin floating slightly in. Good. And just feel those two things for a moment. Elongation of your spine. And then, of course, always supporting that with your navel pulling in and the top of the head lifting up. Good. And then bring your palms together and let's just take a few breaths. You can close your eyes. And feel your torso just expand as you breathe. Release as you exhale. See if you can feel your eyelids relax. Good. Take another big breath. And then we'll exhale and release our arms just down back to the hips. So let's start a little rocking here in your low back. Good. So this is just tilting the pelvis a little bit forward, a little bit back. And then see if you can get to that place where your pelvis feels really neutral. You can shift your weight a little bit right to left. And then feel your weight right there, grounded in your center. Good. And then we're going to take your ears alternately to each shoulder. Good. Again, shoulder blades relaxing, sliding down the back. Good. And then let's move the chin in and up. And then back down towards your collarbones. As you do, you'll feel a stretch in the neck. The chin moves up. And then the chin moves down. Good. One more time. Chin moves up. And then the chin moves down. So let's take a moment. And just with your arms, I want you to sort of push out and sweep. So you can feel arms reaching up, down, out. Good. And again, shoulder blades pulling all the way together. Good. Let's reverse that action. Your arms out in front of you. Just a big reach here. Good. And then let's take the arms up, interlace your fingers, stretch the arms just a little bit overhead, pumping the elbows down and up. Good. And then let's take the hands back behind the head for a moment. Let your head rest there and your hands for just a bit. And then let's exhale and bring your head down. So inhale, stretch, reach your head all the way up. And then exhale and we'll bring that down. Good. Inhale up one more time. And then exhale, bringing your head back to a very neutral position. Let's take the arms down. And then exhale and reach out to one side. Good. As you do that, let the top arms sweep around in the shoulder socket. Good. And then you can allow it to sweep the other way. Exhale, sitting back up, reaching in the opposite direction. And then again, letting that top arm just lift and open. Good. And then taking that in the opposite direction. Let's come all the way up. Let the fingertips pull together. Let the elbows be soft. Pull the arms in and then exhale, reach them out. So hopefully we create a little stretch in your wrist by engaging through the bicep, curling in here. reaching away, curling in, reaching away. Let's go ahead and rest now your hands on your shoulders and exhale, twist to one side, twist to the other side. Good. Feeling that steady, easy, even movement from your center. Good. Feeling the sitting bones stay grounded. Good. And then let's pause here in the center. Circle the two arms together now with the elbows bent. Good. Now let's pause with the elbows all the way lifted. I'm going to take opposite hand to elbow and then just stretch up one more time. Give this a few breaths. Let's exhale, release, open out, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and unfold the legs. Good, so now you're just up on a prop. And then we're gonna take our two arms reaching out. I'm gonna reach opposite, our same hand to ankle and take another big stretch up. Good, inhale, sitting all the way up. Opposite, our same hand to ankle. Reach the rib cage towards the thigh. A few breaths. Good. If you are now up on a prop, you can think about walking the feet just a little bit further from each other, still keeping the knees bent. And I'm going to take opposite hand to thigh and to get a big stretch into my back. Good. Few breaths here. Good. I'll sweep that arm up and switch sides. So really feel this part of your ribs, the opposite ribs, reach towards the thigh, and that's going to help you get a bigger stretch in your back. Good. Inhale, sitting all the way up. Now you can extend the two legs just a little. Good. And take your hands back behind you under the shoulders for just a moment. Good. Inhale. Now the arms come up once again. Let's take same hand towards your leg, anywhere in the leg that works. Good. You can really feel the bottom rib cage lift up and out. Good. Let's inhale, come up and try that same stretch in the opposite direction. It's a long float. Good. Again, trying to create a little more length in these bottom ribs coming over the thigh. Good. Let's exhale, come up, sweep your right hand behind you, create a twist. Good. And then let's exhale, change direction, twisting the other way. Good. Back to the center, bending your two knees. And once again, up on your prop or in a chair, whatever's working, let your sternum extend, come forward, and just melt the top of your head over, a little relaxing forward bend. Good, and then we're gonna inhale and come all the way up. So now I'm gonna come off of my prop here, let it come behind me, and I'm gonna unfold the blanket and start coming down to the floor. So go there in a way that's comfortable for you. And I'll just take a second here. I'm going to kind of slide down the leg, slowly letting myself lower down. And we'll do a little bit of gentle hip flexor work here on this plane. So the first thing you can do if your hips were feeling tight from all that sitting is just gently rock your hips side to side. So as I do this, I'm going to push down with my 2 feet And then let my knees travel one way and then back towards center. Good. And then back in the opposite direction. So making that a nice light movement. And then from here, I'm going to leave my left leg on the floor and begin to lightly tap my right leg down and up. Good. Just letting the foot float to the floor and then return. Good. So then from here, let's pause with the leg up in the air, stretch it out, reach it back in, stretch it out, reach it back in, out and in, just a few times. Good. And then from that out position, I'm going to lift and then lower. Just lift and lower. Good. And then from there, let's try a little bicycling. So you lift the leg, come up, down. Good. And then take that a couple times the other way. Good. So now pause, bend the knee, place that foot down, and then exhale, let your legs twist over to your left side, and this will help you stretch this right hip. So you want to really feel that area stretch out after that bit of work. Okay, when you feel ready, exhale, bring yourself back to the center, and then we're going to try that same thing with the opposite leg. So now my left leg is lifting down and up just a few times. Good. And then I'm going to stretch the leg out and in, out and in, out and in. Good. Feeling the belly pulling deep as you go, out and in. Good. And then we're going to pause with the leg out, lift it up, and then come down. Lifting up, and then coming down. Lifting up, and then down. Really stabilizing with the opposite leg, feeling that movement in our control. And then from here, bicycling the leg, just reaching out, down, in, and up. Feeling that full movement, function of the hip. And then taking those same movements opposite directions. You're just reversing there. Good. So now let's pause with the knee bent, foot on the floor. And now you're going to stretch your hips over to the right and really feel this hip get a big stretch. Good. And then, so let's try now bringing just pull the shoulder blades down the back just a few times. So you'll feel your chest kind of opening up, that anchoring. Good. And then from here, let's let the arms float down and up. And remember, you determine the range of motion here. So just feel that place where the movement is comfortable, steady. Good. And then you can let one arm travel alongside the ear as the opposite arm comes down towards the hips. You're just letting the arms move a little bit in reverse. Good. And then we'll sweep our arms all the way out. Good. And then sweep the arms the other way. Good. Let's let the arms rest at our sides. Pulling the shoulder blades once again together on your spine. Let's lightly just tap your feet down and up right here on the floor. So it's just a small toe ball heel, heel ball toe, toe ball heel, feeling up from the floor and slowly lowering. Little movement. Good. Let's pause with your right foot just a little bit above the floor point and flex the foot. Now circle the ankle. and circle the other way. Good. And then from there, that foot comes down, the left leg lifts, point and flex the foot just a little bit, and then circling the ankle. And taking that the opposite direction. Good, let's place both feet anchored firm into the floor and then peel the bones of your pelvis off of the floor, stretching up. So this is another good stretch for the hip flexors. Give this a few breaths. Again, shoulder blades still pulling together, arm bones anchoring firm to the floor. Good. Exhale, let that come down. And now you're going to take your right ankle to your left thigh, open the arms into a T shape, and then once again, you're going to rock yourself here side to side. Good. Feel your abdominals connected, particularly to the lowering of your hips and thighs. So make that a slower descent. Good, let's pause here. Bring the arms back in. Exhale, push your left foot into the floor and lift the pelvis up. Give this a few breaths. And then slowly let your pelvis return to the floor. Interlace your fingers around the left thigh. Once again, just rock your back a little bit side to side. Good. And then we're going to exhale, set the left foot down, place the right foot next to it, and now bring the left ankle to the right thigh. Open the arms into a T shape. Begin this rocking action with your feet on the floor. Really feeling the slow lower. And then pause with the knee there in the center, bringing the arms into your sides. Push down with the right foot, lift the pelvis, and hold for a few breaths. Exhale, lowering your pelvis, returning to the floor, interlacing your fingers around the right thigh, and rocking side to side. Now let's take your arms alongside the ears and lengthen the two legs up. So now from here, just with the legs in the air, I want you to pretend to walk. And this doesn't need to be a big movement, and your knees don't need to be straight, but just let one leg come forward and back, and same thing. So the legs are alternating. Good. And then let the legs just lightly cross each other here. Over and cross. Again, feeling the back nice and long. Let's pause and then lightly just let the right leg circle there a few times in the hip socket. And taking that the other way. And now the left leg circles all the way around in the hip socket. And then allowing it to circle the other way. Let's fold both knees into your chest and then roll towards the computer screen. That's going to make my right arm be a little pillow for me. And then I'm going to take my hand to my top hip. So this is my left leg on top. Maybe it's your right. We're going to open and close. So the knees
Stay bent, your feet stay together. The top knee comes down and up. You can use an exhale to help you lift the leg. And then from here, let's pause and let the top shin bone now come up. So you'll keep the knees pulling together. Just let the shin raise up. Good. Now let's try lifting the whole leg just a few times. Down and up. Exhaling into the big lift. Good. And then we'll let the leg travel a little forward and a little back. You can keep the knee bent as you do this. Again, be a little bit more relaxing for the hip with the knee bent. Good. And then we'll make just a few small circles with this leg. And then a few small circles in the opposite direction. Then we'll allow your top leg to travel forward. You can let the bottom leg travel back a little and just create a nice little twist. Give this twist 5 breaths. Let's exhale, take the top hand down in front of your chest. Push with those arms. Good. Exhale, pulling up, and then let's try that little sequence on the other side. So letting now, this is my left arm, and my right leg will be up. It may be opposite for you. So I'm going to start with a hand on my hip and try to feel my bottom rib cage lengthen and pull up from the floor. My knees can be bent. If it is comfortable, you can take them a little bit further out in front of you. Then when your back and your pelvis feel nice and neutral, begin lifting your top knee. Good, while you keep the feet together. Good. Try a couple more lifts. You'll feel this a lot back here. Good. So now let's let the knees squeeze together and let the shin bone lift and lower. Using a big exhale here. Good. Pause and now let the whole top leg lift and lower a few times. You can keep a hand on the hip. Feel the back stay long. We'll let the knee travel forward, let the knee travel back. So feeling that transference of hip flexion to hip extension. As the leg travels forward, you'll feel more work in the front of your body. As the leg travels back, you'll feel more glute work. Good. So now we're going to circle that leg a few times. And circle it the other way. Let's pause. Let your top leg travel forward. Bottom leg can travel back. And we'll exhale and create a twist. 5 breaths. After your next exhale, place the top hand down. And then we're going to push. Use the strength in your arms, lifting all the way up. From here, let's make a move and come onto all fours. Good. And then in this all fours position, you can wag the tail just a little bit. So take your hips side to side. And now feel your tailbone center and then reach your thighs back. I've got my toes curled under to stretch my feet. So the thighs can move back. Now let's try around with the tops of the feet down, just letting the thighs move back and you can move forward. Good. On your next round, let's go ahead and pause, letting the thigh bones stay back, and now let the arms stretch forward. And again, 5 breaths in Adho Mukha Virasana. Inhale, push the hands down, look up for a moment. Take your right arm to the right, and now take your left hand on top of the right arm and then lower down. 5 breaths right here. We'll inhale, coming up. Exhale, switching sides. So I'll stretch my left arm to the left, then bring my right arm on top of it, and then let my head rest in between the 2 arms. Good, and then we'll inhale, opening the arms back out once again. I'm going to lift my left arm, reach it behind me, and then slide it underneath and take a little stretch here, my shoulder blade. Exhale, pushing down with your supporting arm, bringing yourself back up. Now I'll reach my right arm behind me, scoop it underneath, and exhale, take a stretch in this direction. Good, pushing through that arm. Now walk your 2 hands just slightly out further away from you. This time you're going to leave your tailbone lifted instead of sitting back in a child's pose. And now let your sternum melt towards the floor. And then we'll exhale, lifting back up. Now I'll slide my right knee forward and let my left leg come back. Good. So this should feel like a big stretch here, particularly for your back hip. You can rock your weight a little bit side to side. Good. And then from here, let's just push your hands down. Curl your back toes under, slide your right leg back. Now slide the left leg forward. And I'm really not trying to do a full pigeon. I'm just mostly focusing on this back hip flexor, letting my hip bone roll down towards my heel. And again, there can be a little rocking here. Excellent. So now pushing up with your hands, lifting your pelvis. So now with my two knees a little bit further back from me, I'm just going to slide and reach myself down towards the floor. Make a little stack, a little pillow for my head with my two hands. And then from here, try just bending and straightening your right knee a few times. Really small movement, just down and up. Feeling the hamstring really connected. Good. Let's leave the right leg long and then try a few little bends here with your left leg. All right, so we're going to pause. I'm going to let my two legs be long for a moment, and then I'm going to reach my right hand back onto my back, maybe even stretch it across my low back, bend and straighten the right knee once again. So now this time I'll pause with the knee bent. See about reaching my hand and my foot together. Exhale, releasing, bringing my right hand underneath my forehead and now my left arm onto my back, just bending and straightening the knee. Okay, now you can hold that knee bent and then let the hand and foot reach towards one another. They don't have to touch if that's not working for your knees. Give this a few breaths if you can. And then from here, you can take two hands and to your feet. Don't have to lift up, but maybe squeeze your scapula together just a few times as you're stretching here. Good. I'm going to exhale, release my arms back down, and now lightly rock my legs side to side, just going to the beach. Good. And then with your lengthen the left leg out with the right shin bone, just make a few circles. And take those circles the other way. Good. You can release the right leg and then repeat that on the left, just taking a few circles. And then moving the other way. So now bring your arms, two arms down to your sides, and then place your hands on your hips. And then once again, I just want you to try squeezing the shoulder blades together. Good. And then once you feel that firming of the arms, then reach the arms off of your back. You can even interlace the palms, just get a big stretch here. We'll allow the arms to open into a little T shape. Good. And then exhale, lift all the way up into a Y shape. Let's exhale, lift your head. Good. Pressing down with the arms, letting the chest, sternum bone reach up. Another breath, and now you'll slowly let the head come down. Take two hands just slightly back, pushing with the hands. Exhale, allowing the sternum to come up. Good. Let's exhale, release, and try that one more time. You'll let the hands come a little closer to you. This will mean slightly deeper stretch in the back. Good. Now you can bend your two knees. Let your head and your heels reach towards one another. And then we'll exhale, press your elbows down. Lengthen the two legs. Bring your hips up from the floor. Walk the two knees back in. Once again, a little child's pose. From here, we'll push our hands down, up on all fours, and then cat-cow the spine. Really focusing on this tucking under. So you can will feel good to your back. Good. We'll exhale, let the weight move back and bring ourselves up. Pick your hands here for a moment onto the hips back behind you. The chest open, the tailbone drop. Just breathe. And then we'll exhale, let the left foot come forward. And then you can come and stretch forward, letting this left leg really help you stretch your psoas here. Couple of breaths. Let's exhale and come over once again, letting your front leg lengthen, your head melt down. Good. We'll exhale, come all the way back up. Pull the left foot back in. And now taking the right foot forward and taking a little stretch into your psoas. Good. And then from here, we'll exhale, bring the hands down, stretch over this leg, lengthening out your hamstring. And then we'll exhale, bring that leg back behind us. Now, if you have a chair handy, you can use the chair for a moment. We're going to use this to help us stretch in lieu of having blocks or props. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring my blanket here out of the way and then put my hands just on the chair and bring myself up into a little forward bend. So you can use an ottoman. If you have your yoga blocks, you could use your yoga blocks. But we'll just come, maybe walk your hands if you've got a chair a little bit further down. Let your head rest here for a moment. Good, now I'm gonna inhale, look up, walk my right foot forward, lift, stretch my left leg back, and now let my two legs get long as I stretch over them. I'm gonna inhale, look up. Now reach the arm of my front leg back behind me, creating a little twist. And then exhale, reverse that, letting my opposite arm lead. This can even open my hips a little bit. Let's exhale, return, bring that hand back down. Pause, step the back foot in. Now step the foot that was front. So this is my right leg moving back. And then I'm going to pause for a moment in a little Padottanasana, letting myself stretch and reach long over the two legs or over my front leg. Try to lift your 10 toes, feel your kneecaps engage. Left hip moves a little bit back, right hip moves slightly forward, deep stretch into the calf. And then I'll inhale, look up, take my left arm or the arm of the front leg back behind me. It's creating a little twist. And then exhale, slowly pulling back towards that leg and reaching out the other way. So now I'm letting my hips open just a hair. Good, that will give me more of a stretch in my inner thigh. And then let's exhale, release. Good, so now, let me see the time really quick. Okay, this is perfect. So you can choose to do this standing, or you could try a little seated forward bend in your chair. So I'm going to go back to opposite hands to elbow for a moment, and then really fold over my legs and just let myself relax. So you could do this standing, or if you enjoy working with the chair, this will just let you move your sacrum a little bit further in and really let your neck go. Good, let's inhale and look up. And now this time, let's let your left leg lift here, and you can let it come down and up just a few times. Again, can be done standing easily, no problem. Good, and then you can stretch, reach that leg out, down and up just a few times. Good, now holding the back of the chair, just come and stretch over the leg. So another little stretch for your hamstring. Good, let's exhale, stack that up. Opposite leg now just comes down and up. So the nice thing you can do if you're sitting is really pay attention to your sitting bones staying grounded and anchored. Now you'll stretch this leg out, down and up just a few times. Good. And then you can exhale, set that foot on the floor, hold the back of your chair, or just put your hands on your back and come stretch forward. Let's take that and make it another little forward bend. This time I'm going to take opposite hand towards the foot. Let the other hand rest on my back. Again, can be done seated, can be done standing. Well, inhale, come up, reverse that. So opposite hand on my back, and then I'm going to take hand to thigh, stretching, reaching over. And once again, bring yourselves back up. Take your two hands onto the chair, stretch, lift your chest. Good. And then you can reach the arms out. Bring the weight of the body into the feet. Stand it up. Now, if you wanted to overachieve, you would do, 10 of these. I'm not in the mood. There goes Margarita. Muy bien. Good. All right. So now, if you've got a chair, you can put your feet up on it, or again, just take this work on the floor. So, placing your feet here up for a moment. Let the bones of your back kind of settle in. I'm going to scooch myself just a little bit closer, letting more of my shins rest. Good. So this is a really restorative way of getting your legs above your heart, right? Which has some good circulatory benefits. And it also keeps you from having to work too hard. So take a moment to enjoy that, appreciate that. And then as it feels nice, you can slide your hands back behind your right thigh. A few times push the thigh into your hands. Get a big stretch here. Feeling deep engagement through your quadricep. Good. And then let this leg, as you're pushing in, stretch over to one side, so crossing the midline. Feeling a deeper stretch now into your IT band, outer leg. And then you can exhale, same thing, let the leg now come away from the body. Supporting that stretch with your hands. Exhale, bringing that leg back up. Just lightly let the right leg float there for a moment. And then we'll exhale, release, let it come down. Take a moment, feel your weight grounded, equal and even here. And then we'll interlace our hands back behind your left thigh. Stretch and reach a few times the thigh into the hand. Good. And then let's exhale, turn the toes in. The leg come across the midline of your body. And then exhale, let the leg just cross away. And then we'll slowly bring that leg right back down. So now with your legs either on the chair or on the floor, you can let the heels come in, the toes come out. And in this crossed position, I'm going to take my left hand to my right ankle and just gently slide this leg a little bit up my torso. So again, getting another stretch in the piriformis, external rotator hip group. Good. We'll exhale, release, let that leg float right back down onto the chair or on the floor. And then we'll take opposite hand to ankle once again, letting the slide really deeply externally rotate. And then we'll exhale, release it, let it rest. Take a few deep, low breaths. And then you can bring your fingertips here to your temples for just a moment and lightly rub. Rubbing slightly just above the ears. Letting your fingertips rub into your third eye point. Letting your thumbs rub into your jaw, along the jaw line at the lower part of the ear. So this is where a lot of us hold tension. Good. And then from here, just let the hands come rest on your belly, and we're going to observe ourselves take a few breaths. So just feel what it's like to really watch each inhale, watch each exhale. Seeing if you can make your inhales and exhales lengthen. And then slowly, when you feel ready, just begin to lightly wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then slowly circle the ankles and the wrists. And let the weight move side to side just a little. Maybe letting your feet come up on your chair, up over your chest. And then we'll stretch our arms overhead, roll to one side. Let the strength in your arms pressing up, finding a seated position. And bringing the palms all the way together. Bow the head, close the eyes. Your practice is a gift, everyone. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Namaste.
Gracias.